Hey, Mama, you better be ready because this is about to be vent session number 3. And today we're talking about working moms. I'm lucky enough today to have Emma, who's the wine blogger, and she is Wine with Emma is her hashtag and her Instagram page. She actually has 2 kids under 2. Wild, I know. Her 2-month-old is adorable, and her name is Mara. And then she has a 2-year-old son whose name is Rory. I asked Emma to come on here because we got to chatting about the difficulties with being a working mom and all the struggles of that. So, Emma, tell us what's going on because I know that you're going back to work soon.
Yeah, so I am going back to work on Wednesday. So like literally in 2 days. So this is my second time going back to work and I feel like I have a different mindset, but I'm still real nervous. Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
always tell myself that I can't get everything done in a day anymore. It's just impossible. So I have made sure that my time with my kids is really special, like no phones. I might only get 45 minutes a day because my work schedule is freaking wild.
Mhm.
So and it's never really consistent. So my 45 minutes a day that I might get with my kids are 100% about them. So everything is really intentional when it comes to my kids, and everything else unfortunately like has to go to the back burner. I feel
Yeah.
like that's something we have to accept as new moms, is that we can't do it all, and that we have to prioritize what's important to us, and obviously our babies are number one, right?
Yeah.
So I think
When
that's like my biggest thing.
did you come up with that when you had Rory, or is this kind of something that you've learned as you go and you started absolutely right now?
I started it with Rory. So I was lucky enough with Rory that I didn't go to work until he was 6 months old. So that was like the
Oh, wow.
perfect age where I felt like I could leave him. So this time it's like a little, Mara feels really young for me to go back because I feel like a little more anxious. But
Yeah.
the day like I went back to work, I was like, this is exactly what I'm going to do and being intentional. I think I had like listened to an audiobook or something like that to get some ideas of like how to manage life as a working mom, because I mean, I think we all kind of question if we can
Yeah.
do it.
Well, and I
So
think it's hard because I feel society and the way the world is right now, it's how can you afford to really not go back to work?
exactly. And I think I've been teetering with that since before I had Rory. So my 2-year-old is like, sure, I think my husband and I could figure out a way for me not to work. But I'm like, I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones that could figure that out. But I live a lifestyle that I want to continue living. And there's so many things that I don't want to give all of that up either. So I have to give myself credit to see also like if I can do it. Can I make it work? So, you know, if I need to pivot and find a job that's less demanding, because again, my job is super demanding, then maybe that's something that I have to do. But right now I owe it to myself to see what I can do and not make any rash decisions while my hormones are still freaking crazy. That is, I feel like, so important, is that we don't make any crazy decisions right now when we are, I mean, I'm still breastfeeding, so I'm going to have to figure out pumping at work and how that's going to work out for me. And I mean, there's so many things, and I'm like, don't make rash decisions right now.
Which is great because it's like I am not only going back to work, so I have the emotions of dealing with that, but I'm
Work.
also pumping, so I have that. But I also have my crazy emotions still, and I'm not regulated yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we need to realize that that's okay too.
Yes.
We are, it feels like you're always alone in how you're feeling. Like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I feel crazy. I am not okay. How the heck am I going to make it through this next whatever hurdle it is that's coming up? What am I going to do? But like, if you think about it, how many women before us have had to do this, and how many women after us are going to have to figure this out and question so many things? And how many people are doing it right now with us? So I think like the community that you're building is exactly
Thank you.
what we need, because we need to know that we're not alone. Literally, this has happened to so many people before.
And you're crazy, but you're not the only one who's crazy.
You know, we're all crazy together. So you just got
Yes.
to find the people to be crazy with. they're gonna like level set you on things when you just feel like everything's going wrong or you don't know how to deal with it in the moment. And that's, I mean, the working thing is hard.
Well, because again, you question like, do I leave my baby or do I stay with my baby?
Right.
And who doesn't want to stay with their baby? And if
Right.
you don't, like, that's okay. Like, some people need to leave their baby to give their baby the best mom version of themselves. So they get that good break and they come back and they're like, yep, I'm a better mom because I work. So I think that's important too, is those moms need to know that they're not bad moms because they want to leave their baby and go to work. That's okay. That's where
Oh yeah.
you're supposed to be.
Weekends feel so rough sometimes where it's like this is 24/7 parenting. Like God bless the people that take care of my kids because it just feels so stressful. But and I think I'm a better person and a better me when I am working and I'm talking to other adults. Like I have found myself, I have my beautiful 12 weeks of maternity leave and talking to another adult human feels impossible. Like I can't form
Mm-hmm.
sentences anymore. So I do think I'm a better me when I'm working, but that's the decision that you have to make. And I think we we have to do it for ourselves. But I think ultimately, I think what like a lot of us struggle with is like, how are we going to get everything done? And how are
Yeah.
we going to still prioritize what's important to us? So like self-care kind of thing. So self-care for me is going to be like, I enjoy a glass of wine with my husband. I love to work out. I love sleep a lot. And I know I'm like a better me when I sleep and I like to get my nails done. So how am I going to fit all of this in plus my full-time job plus two babies? And you just have to decide like something that you're probably going to have to sacrifice. So and you have to plan it out too. So like I right now I'm not working until Wednesday. So I'm able to work out 5 times a week. I'm not going to be able to do that realistically. Like that's not going to happen. So I have to know what my plan is. And then like meal prepping, like I don't want to just in the morning like scramble and throw things into a bag. Like I need to again like being intentional about it. It's easier said than done. There's weeks that I don't. Let's be real. We're
So
human.
when you're trying to figure out like your self-care and what to prioritize, what does that look like? Like, how do you determine, hey, this is what I'm going to do for my self-care today?
Um so I have been trying really hard on Sundays to prep for the week ahead. Like who's going to bring the kids to daycare and who's going to like just like family managing, I guess. But then
Yeah.
like it's also like, okay, this is my day off. How am I going to utilize my day off? Like I literally schedule in time to watch TV because I just feel like I would feel bad doing it otherwise because I feel like there's
Mhm.
so many things to do. But the laundry can wait. You and your kids are the most important, I guess, would be the way to say it. But it's frustrating, right?
It is because you want to be the perfect housewife, but you also want to be the perfect mom and you also want to be the perfect employee. So you like you said, it's really kind of figuring out what's most important
Mm-hmm.
and what can kind of go on the back burner. Like it took me, I don't know, 3 weeks to do my laundry, my own laundry. Like I did the
Yeah.
baby's laundry, I did like
Same.
a
Oh,
random laundry, made sure everything else was clean.
yeah.
But my laundry, nope,
The
took me
kids'
3 weeks.
rooms are always spotless, but my room is not. That is so okay. And I think like, the everything around the house is going to be there when you wake up, regardless. I think it goes back to trying to be more intentional about what you're doing. My work-life balance is so important to me. And I think everybody, like our generation, is all about work-life balance. We don't want to just
100%.
live for work anymore. So, I mean, I have always had my work email on my phone, but I'm giving that up because I don't want to be thinking about work. It's going to be there tomorrow when I show up. And I mean, they're going to be fine without me. And when I show up, I can take care of the problem and I can be work
A better
Emma
you.
then. And then when I'm home, I can be mom.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is on top of the prioritizing
Mhm.
self-care and everything is transitioning, like really kind of coming back into that mode of being like, okay, I'm not work Emma anymore, I'm mom Emma.
Mhm.
Or I can be non-mom Emma and non-work Emma and I can be just Emma.
Yeah, exactly. and I can be like friend Emma at a different point
Mhm.
in time, but like I'm gonna schedule like I'm gonna like make time for my friends because I think that's important too. But yeah, like I'm not gonna work when I'm at home anymore. I'm not gonna, which I did because like I'm a career driven person. Like I'm gonna get to the top and I'm gonna be like, I literally grew up being like teacher's pet. So I'm going, and I'm like that in work too. Like I want to be the best version of everything. So I can't do like you have to realize at some point that like what's most
Something's gotta give.
important. Yeah. And right now it's my babies. Like they are, well, I think that actually right now, I mean, forever it's going to be my babies. Right. So it's just, yeah, figuring out how you're going to balance all of that. And by no means, I feel like I should not be lecturing anyone because I am still figuring this all out. Like I am not
You're second.
perfect. Yeah, I am not perfect, but I like have had one baby already and have gone through it. So I kind of know what I'm going to expect this time around.
Well, you know what works for you at this point, and that could
Exactly.
also change. Like you were saying, is like you're
Oh,
going
yeah.
back a lot earlier this time, and it's like, wait a minute, what do I need to do? What's best for my family?
Yeah.
It's really funny because like hearing you say that you're career driven, I used to be so career driven. I'm at a place where like I don't want to go back to work, but I have to go back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like I got offered a position and it was a career, like I would have been a director of something, and I turned it down. I'm like, nope, I want to stay home. And I got lucky enough to be able to, I've been out for 20 weeks and it has been so nice. It's hard, but it's been
Mhm.
so nice because, like you said, it's like you just want to be with your baby. And he's about to be 6 months. And I think you're right. That's a good age because I don't know, you get to see all their milestones and
Little
stuff.
baby
And
things.
yes,
Oh, no.
which I think you're right. For your first, that was probably great. Like you had to have that experience and you got to enjoy that. So like now with Mara, it's like, okay, like I know you're gonna do this. I know you're gonna
Mhm.
do that. And I know I'm gonna see it when I get home. So it's okay.
Exactly. Like it's accepting that you might miss it, but you're gonna see it again. Like
Yes.
they're gonna laugh again. They're gonna they do all those things again. But it is hard to be like, okay, someone else is caring for my baby. That's not me. And I am totally having a hard time with that. We've been lucky enough that my husband gets paternity leave and he got to split it. So he's going
Oh,
on
that's nice.
paternity leave when I go back for 6 weeks. And
Oh
I
wow.
am I am like, but that's not how I would do it. I'm like, I can't do everything. So you have to just let go and
Which is
be,
so hard.
and he's a wonderful dad and a perfect parent. Like he parents perfectly. It's just not my way, but it's
Yeah.
fine. My babies are going to
Uh,
be safe.
we're learning that, sidetrack real quick. We're learning that in this house is that I need to stop being a control freak. Like he's a great parent and he's doing a great job. I need to just let go sometimes.
I know, same. I'm still figuring that one out. I'm like, you can't say that anymore. You can't say that. I've got a repeating toddler, so he's saying
Yes.
everything that we say. They go to the same daycare, which is on my way to work.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's as logistically great as possible, but
Doesn't make
still
anything
difficult.
easier.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you still have to, I mean, we weren't like packing Rory's lunches before school. We were doing it in the mornings. And I'm like, that's still 5 minutes that we could get back if we just did it while we were doing dinner the night before. And
Hmm.
you're like, how do I make my life easier, but also not be like so crazy about having a schedule? Because schedule and routine is awesome, but like, let's be real, like a baby's not going to give you the schedule that you want. Like Mara
Mm-mm.
was all of a sudden going to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm like, yes, I got the baby going to bed by 9. Like I've got a little time to myself before bed. And then all of a sudden, boom, 11:30, 12 o'clock. And you're like, yeah. And now I have to still go back to work with a baby that does not have a schedule. How is 12 weeks okay to go back to work in America, people?
And I feel
So
like
early.
not only is it just one, our emotions, like you said, our emotions are still crazy and completely out of whack. But also, like, you're still trying to figure out your baby and learning your baby. So you're sleep deprived
Mhm.
and your baby's not sleeping. So you go into work, you're not going to be the best version of yourself because you're not getting sleep. You want us to go back to work this soon, but we're not prepared.
No.
physically. Emotionally, definitely not. But I feel like that'll be all the time. But like
Yeah, I
physically,
mean
like,
forever.
yes.
But yeah, I mean, and I have a really physically demanding job, which was very hard during pregnancy and like really hard. And I thankfully have a really great team that, knew when I needed breaks and they were really great about it. And they'll be like that again. But I'm like, I lost all of those muscles that I had from having 12 weeks off. And my company's great that I get my first 2 weeks back or part time so that it's like a
That's really
transition
nice.
into it, but it's still, I mean, physically demanding things that I have not been doing. And then I'm trying to figure out in my shift, like, well, when am I going to figure out when to pump? And like, what if there's no other manager there and I'm the only manager? What if there's a manager call? What do I do? Like, these are things that I'm like, I'm panicking, like straight up panicking about it. And I know that it will be okay, but I mean, I'm dreaming about work now.
Well, and then you're also trying to think about, again, the laundry. Like your mind's going, oh, the laundry
Oh
has to
yeah.
get done. Oh, when am I going to pump while I'm at work? Oh, Mara needs a diaper changed. Oh,
Mhm.
Rory has to go to the bathroom. I need to go help him do this. Like you're
Yep.
just constantly going
Yeah.
like this on the
And
go.
how am I gonna like how do I make sure that I prep all the bottles before, like the night before or whatever? Like how am I going to, and what if all of a sudden like I mean any breastfeeding and pumping mom is always thinking about their supply. So what
Yes.
about like what if my supply just crashes? Like I have like with Rory, I was very determined that I was going to breastfeed and pump and make it work, and had like a difficult time getting there, but did get there. And this time it's been a lot easier, but it was giving myself grace this time that if it didn't work, it'd be fine. But it's been going so great that I just don't want it to stop. Like it's been going well. So
It's like,
what
wait a
do I
minute.
do? Make sure you drink water, Emma. Like that is important. But there's days that I just don't have time to drink water. Like, and I know a lot of people go through that. Like, how do you there's so many things racing through your head.
Well, and you're probably eating so much better while you're home because you have the time to
Sure.
prepare those meals. And I wouldn't say that I do think it is very difficult to eat some of those prepared meals. You don't know when you're going to eat.
Right.
So, I mean, it could be two ways. It could go very well while you're at work because you're eating those prepared meals, you're eating them on time, or it could go poor. It's like, wait a minute, I'm so busy that I can't focus on eating because I have to pump instead, or I have to do this
Right.
while I'm pumping when I should be eating.
My team doesn't know like pumping Emma, the person like, because legally, we get 2 10-minute breaks and a 30-minute break. I just don't take my tens because I never had, because I just was like, I'm just going to keep working. I'm fine. But like now I
Yeah.
have to take more than a 10, and I gotta, I don't even know where I'm going to pump yet either. Like legally, they have to give me a place to pump
A
that has no
space.
cameras, that's not a bathroom and not my car. And I know that they're probably doing that. Like I trust that they are, but like I don't know where that is yet. So of course my anxiety is through the roof.
So like you can't even prepare for what your pumping space is gonna look like or where you're
Yeah.
gonna put everything.
Or like I have like this like tiny little fridge. I'm like, I could bring that, but is there an outlet? I don't know. Or like what cooler bag? Like I don't want my milk sitting in the break room refrigerator. Like I don't it
No.
you're all these things go through your head, like trying to prepare for work.
Which again though, like I feel like working moms and working pumping moms, it shouldn't be awkward. Like it shouldn't be weird to have our milk out because that's what we're doing.
I
But
know.
because of society and because of all this stuff, it's created like this
Weird stigma.
uncomfortability. Yes.
I'm the only woman in my store that is, I mean, I have like a couple, literally, they're elderly women that have kids, but I am the only woman in my store that has young babies. So literally nobody else can understand what I'm going through.
No.
So it is 100% like I have to like break this barrier and make it something that is comfortable to talk about, and not, I mean, I did it while I was pregnant. I was just straight up about things. Like, I mean, not
Here I
like,
am.
yeah, I'm like, this is me, got this big old belly. But I mean, also, what if I'm leaking at work? Like,
Yep.
for real, who's gonna tell me? Is it gonna be like, who's it gonna be?
They're gonna be like, oh, uh,
Hey, you
uh,
got something on your shirt.
Like, I'd rather you just tell me. Just let me know.
I know. I mean, it happens. Well, I mean, I'll be
Yeah,
prepared, but
it's not that big of a deal if it happens. Like, I'd rather you just tell me. Like, what if you're talking to a customer and this
that's what I'm
customer is just
thinking.
staring
I know. Or like a baby's crying next to me in the store. Like, what?
and you're just like,
Wear layers, I guess.
just load it up with the pads. That's all you got to do.
Exactly. But like, again, these are like things that
Yeah.
like other people aren't thinking about, and I am just paranoid about my baby not being with my babies, and then like about making sure that I'm making milk for my baby, and then planning that into my day, and then making sure that like all their things are good, and still making sure that I'm managing the house, and still, I mean,
All
let's
the
be
things.
real, there's going to be things that slip all the time, but it's like coming to a realization that it's okay.
Gotta be okay. So if you could, two things. If you could go back to beginning Emma before Rory
Mm-hmm.
and tell her three things, or any other mom who's going through this with you, what are the three most important things that they should know?
You are not alone, and you should reach out and find a community or help if that's what you feel like you need, that will be there to just to talk to. So I'll like give like a little story for this one, but I kind of fell into a group of women that I met through a Peloton page that were all pregnant with babies due at the same time as Rory. All of our babies were due within about 3 months of each other. So we were all like very pregnant, working out all together. So we had like common interests. Um, and I'm still friends with them and still talking to them. So now we're going through the toddler
Okay.
phases together. And it's really cool because we're all at different stages. There were two or three of us that were first time moms. The rest of them have two or three other babies. So it was so, and then now I like went through it again because I was pregnant again, but I still talk to them. And one person in that group has become one of my best friends that I talk to every day. And we met in person and everything, like we're real people. But having that community to be like, hey, what's this rash? Or that's like a small
Is
group of
this
people.
normal?
Yeah. Is this normal? Have you guys like what did your kid do today? And just like having that community feels really good, that you can ask any questions to and that they understand what you're going through also.
Yeah.
Like 3 a.m. we would message each other and someone was awake to answer because we were breastfeeding our babies. That's important. So you're not alone would be the first one. The second one is that like you can do it and you can do anything. I don't know about you, but I over prepared myself for labor, thinking
Mm-hmm.
that that was going to be the worst part for me. And I know that people do have traumatic birthing experiences and et cetera. And I was very lucky to have a really two straightforward births, but I was so prepared for that and was so not prepared for everything else that came after that. So it's okay to go with the flow and trust your instincts. So that's going to be like my other, just like, Emma, you're going to be fine. You can just trust your instincts. And
Mom
then,
gut.
yeah, exactly. And then the third thing is to like let it go. It'll be okay. Everything will be okay. And it may not feel like this moment is for you. And I have had so many really low moments that I didn't want to get out of bed, but I did it for
Yeah.
Rory or for Mara or for both of them. And you just, if you just let the things go, it'll be okay. The laundry will wait, the dishes will be there. But the most important thing is you, your babies, your relationship, and it'll be okay.
I like that. Let it go. I mean,
Let it go.
Savino loves
I'll set
Frozen,
it.
and Let It Go
Yeah,
is his favorite.
exactly.
So
Just
awesome.
embrace it.
Well, thank you so much for not only like seriously being vulnerable and sharing your story, but also like letting moms know that it's okay to not be the best mom sometimes. And I hope that work goes well
Thank you so much.
and that you're not leaking when a customer comes in.
Thank you. That is my number one goal of my first day back.
Do not leak.
Do not leak.
Thank you, Emma, for joining us. If you guys appreciated hearing from Emma and you want to hear from more moms, please hit the subscribe button and hit like if you enjoyed this. And if you want to check out Emma's wine blog and follow her, her tag is right here. And if you're open to being on the channel and talking about your journey, or if you would like to stay anonymous, you can always write into the story. You can send me into my DMs on Instagram or on Facebook. And if you want us to cover a topic, please put it in the comments below. And as always, I hope whatever you were drinking was delicious. And I hope that you turn in next week for another episode of Moms with Moms, Moms offering mom support. And have a great time being a mom because we're surviving and we're thriving.
Cheers.
Cheers.